Well, folks, it seems like many in Donald Trump's inner circle are getting ready to jump ship, or at least they're preparing to do so. They are secretly preparing for his downfall, according to journalist Michael Wolff, who has reported extensively on Donald Trump's very close relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. And I got to be honest, I'm not surprised whatsoever by this reporting. I mean, Trump's entire term has been a unmitigated disaster, from scandal to crimes to the cover up of the Epstein files. He has completely blown up any political capital he once had, and his approval rating has never been lower. So I want to show you this reporting from Michael Wolff. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the Epstein story and how this kind of connects and some new updates we have there. Before I do any of that, make sure to subscribe down below, drop a like on the video, comment, let me know what you think about the story. Without further ado, let's hear from Michael Wolff. Donald Trump is losing what author Michael Wolff calls reflex control, and no one in his inner circle is willing to offer an honest assessment of his capabilities. This, Wolff claims, is leading the president to become increasingly uninhibited in his public pronouncements. And I certainly think that's the case. We all saw Donald Trump's disastrous speech the other day that he gave in prime time, where he ranted for 20 minutes straight. He was speaking incredibly quickly. He was stumbling over his words. He was sweating. He looked awful. He looked awful. Discussing the president's remarks this week on everything from the tragic murders of Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle to the mess the FBI made of First Lady Melania Trump's underwear drawer, which is a real clip, unfortunately, that Donald Trump talked about. Wolff told his Inside Trump's Head podcast co-host Joanna Coles that Trump is exhibiting a problem of reflex control. Wolff also discussed comments made by Trump's chief of staff, Susie Wiles, in a now viral Vanity Fair story where she described the president as having an alcoholic's personality. And I think that plays into it, right? I mean, I think Susie Wiles understands that Donald Trump is, she's a little off his rocker. And that's why that interview was so candid from her. I mean, she said that Donald Trump, has an alcoholic's personality. He is politically targeting people. Elon Musk is doing narcotics, illicit narcotics, and things like that. I think she knows. I think she might be the person in the inner circle who Michael might have just well as said, it's like dealing with a dementia patient. I mean, it's the same thing, Wolff explained. And because he doesn't drink, it is probably closer to that, in which he has the uninhibited aspects of his personality that might be anger or self-pity, or in his case, racism. Yeah. Become increasingly more uninhibited. And that seems to be what's going on. He opens his mouth and you go, this is a problem. And like, Donald Trump has always been outlandish. He's always said crazy things. But in his second term, I have a darker feeling every time he opens his mouth. I'm anticipating worse. Like, Trump in his first term was slightly better in terms of what he says and what he does on a daily basis. There were people around him who kind of kept him in check for the majority of term. And I say it was slightly better. Now Donald Trump just has total yes men in his inner circle who do whatever he says. They agree with whatever he says, even if they are privately saying, well, this is going under. Donald Trump's presidency is going in the crapper, to put it mildly. Coles highlighted another example from September where Trump took the stage at Charlie Kirk's memorial service and ranted about how much he hated his enemies. It's just a peculiar thing at this stage, Coles added, and no one around him seems to be saying enough already. You sound deranged. You'd wish they would. It's true. No one around them does say that, Wolff replied, going back to discuss the fact that the U.S. had two octogenarian presidents back to back. There's no way for us to say, okay, he is experiencing cognitive issues of an alarming variety, and no one around him is going to say that, although Susie Wiles, in acknowledging the alcoholic thing, was curious. Medical experts have, of course, studied Donald Trump, his public speeches, his mannerisms, the MRIs, the swollen ankles, the bruised hands, and a lot of them are coming to the conclusion that he is absolutely exhibiting signs of someone with dementia. Of course, Mary Trump has also been very open about this, with her belief that he is showing similar signs to what his father, Fred Trump, showed. And of course, he lived with Alzheimer's. And they continued to insist that Donald Trump is healthy, but I don't think anybody really buys that. And of course, he's also bragged about his cognitive tests. But I think it's the case. I mean, look, I think Michael Wolff is right that they are preparing for his downfall. I think a lot of these people around Donald Trump know how bad things look for him. And that's especially the case with this Epstein story. And you want to talk about something that looks bad, why not look no further than the fact that they are scrubbing Donald Trump's name from any document? Midas Touch reported on this today. The DOJ appears to have redacted Donald Trump's name from the allegation made in this exhibit in the Epstein files. Trump's name was in the original release. Now it's blacked out. And you can see at the top, this allegation is very explicit. I know that this is one that's been debated because the woman behind it said it, then retracted it, then said it again. So, but she says she was targeted by wealthy men to retract the statement, which wouldn't surprise me. I'll let you guys be the decider as to whether you think it's valid or not. But you can see, and again, I'll warn you, it is explicit. There's Donald Trump, Donald right there, Mr. Trump up there. There's Donald Trump at the top of the second paragraph. There's Trump at the bottom of the second paragraph. This is the original document that has been public, but of course included in the Epstein files nonetheless. So you see mentions of Donald Trump's name. This is the file that was released by the Department of Justice. And you can see all of the different places we just pointed out Donald Trump's name, whether it be the top of the second paragraph, the bottom of the second paragraph, the first paragraph, where they're talking about Trump's relationship with Epstein. The name is gone for no reason, right? The Department of Justice is not supposed to be redacting anybody's name because of political embarrassment, right? And they're doing it anyway. I mean, this is definitive proof of that happening. They are protecting Donald Trump actively, and they are protecting his image, which is already bad enough. I don't think they want to add to it, but they unintentionally are. I believe that's the Streisand effect, isn't it? You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But funnily enough, I think the DOJ is somewhat succumbing to some pressure, because remember this photo that we talked about on the show a couple of days ago? I'm sure you've seen it in your own capacity. This photo that was included in the Epstein files, this is the original one, the full one. It's from Epstein's mansion in New York City. But a lot of people notice that when you zoom in on the bottom left, there's a photo of Donald Trump that we've never seen before, hanging around with women. And the DOJ went and deleted this photo and never gave us an answer as to why they deleted it. They just removed it from the DOJ website overnight and it was gone. Their new excuse is that there might be women who were victims in the photo, and that's why they took it down and had to review it and then placed it back. But I'm curious by that explanation, because it means that they thought there were Epstein victims in this photo, and where exactly else would they be? I mean, this is the Pope. These are famous people up here. The only images with women in them are with Donald Trump. So are they acknowledging, or maybe they have a belief that Donald Trump did do something bad and they're making sure that that he is not implicated or the women aren't in this photo? I don't know what the explanation is. It's certainly not a good one from the Department of Justice, but because of the pressure, they've brought back the photo. It's now on the website. You can go back and look at the photo in the Epstein files. I believe it's file 468. Again, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Please let me know. But you're seeing all this. You're seeing obviously the DOJ unnecessarily redacting Donald Trump's name. You're seeing photos of Donald Trump being removed from the Epstein files, then placed back after public pressure and being called out and offering, quite frankly, bullshit explanations for why they did it. This headline, this reporting from Michael Wolff, who has sources on the inside, doesn't surprise me at all. It doesn't surprise me at all. People in politics, especially on the MAGA side, are more interested in self-preservation. They always have been. That'll be my take. Always have been, always will be. They care more about their political standing, their seats in government, than they do about any individual. Their loyalty to Donald Trump comes from a desire for self-preservation. They want their seats, and they have to suck up to Donald Trump to stay in their seats and to stay in their position in the White House. So they know the way the political winds are blowing. They know that Donald Trump is implicated in the files, and there's a huge cover-up going. And so when Michael Wolff says they're preparing, doesn't surprise me. So look, I'll leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed your Sunday. I hope you were able to catch my episode earlier today on the show where we looked at SNL mocking Donald Trump and got a laugh. I had a laugh. It was fun. But look, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe down below, drop a like on the video, comment. Let me know what you think about this story. And as I always say, I greatly appreciate you.